With a population of 1.4 billion people, China has no shortage of strange and gruesome crimes, but the attempted murder of Zhu Ling by thallium poisoning in 1995 is still burning up China's social media long after the trails have gone cold. The only suspect questioned by police was Zhu's roommate, whose family is rumored to be politically connected. Zhu was a second-year student majoring in physical chemistry in a university in Beijing in 1994. According to her classmates, she was an attractive, intelligent, and talented student with an interest in music. At the end of that year, she began to experience unusual and debilitating symptoms, including acute stomach pain and intensive hair loss. After being admitted to a hospital, her condition gradually improved and she returned to school. However, in March of the following year, her symptoms returned to even worse than the time before. This time she also experienced leg pain, loss of muscular eye control, and partial facial paralysis. She required a respirator to breathe, and her condition rapidly deteriorated. Zhu's friends were dissatisfied with the inability of local doctors to assist Zhu, and on April 10, 1995, they posted an SOS letter on various internet groups, describing their friend's symptoms and requesting assistance in diagnosing her condition. It's important to note that in 1995, only a limited number of research institutes in China had access to the internet. Of the over 1,500 replies received, about one-third suggested that she was suffering from thallium poisoning, which is treated with Prussian blue, a common antidote. Subsequent examinations revealed that Zhu had abnormally high levels of thallium in her body, around 10,000 times higher than the normal person. Doctors were able to administer the antidote in time to save her life, but she sustained permanent neurological damage. Although she has regained the ability to breathe on her own, she is still unable to speak, has limited mobility, and is almost blind with severely reduced mental function. It wasn't until many years later that Min He and Richard Ash from Maryland University re-examined Zhu's hair sample. They determined that Zhu had been exposed to thallium for about 4 months, with increasing doses and frequency towards the end, as well as 2 weeks of consistent ingestion and a significant amount of thallium accompanied by a higher level of lead. This shows us that this contact with thallium wasn't a one-off occurrence, but consistently someone was trying to poison her and ultimately kill her. Police initiated an investigation into the case in May 1995. However, it wasn't until January 2006 that they disclosed to the media that their inquiries had yielded a potential suspect. No justification was provided for the delay in sharing this information, and no one has been officially accused in relation to the incident thus far. The lead investigator communicated to a correspondent from the Southern People Weekly during a telephone interview in January 2006. The investigators had indeed reached some significant conclusions about the case, but the data is too sensitive to be made public at the time. Sun Wei is the main suspect in the poisoning case of Zhu. Sun Wei was Zhu's classmate and roommate at the university from 1992 to 1997 and is believed to have been the only student with official access to thallium. The authorities refused to release the results of their investigation to Zhu's parents. Sun Wei released a statement in December 2005 proclaiming her innocence, claiming that she was detained by the police in April 1997 and cleared as a suspect in August 1998. However, her lawyer stated that she was not excluded from suspicion. Internet discussions about the crime continue, and many people speculate that Sun Wei has not been charged due to her family connections. Her grandfather was an important member of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, and her cousin was a deputy mayor of Beijing. The Chinese government is facing a public relations challenge due to the widespread public awareness and skepticism regarding the handling of this case, which has raised concerns about whitewashing. It is difficult to suppress information about the case, but it is also unlikely that sufficient evidence exists to definitively establish the guilt or innocence of the main suspect. As a result, the case has become a way for the public to express their discontent with corruption and the abuse of power by the political elite associated with the regime.